We get really excited about UFC debuts, and we have one for Cameron Else, Camchida, coming in here taking on Kyler Phillips on short notice, and he's replacing Dana Batgaril. And Matt, Kyler Phillips, when he came into the UFC, wasn't really so much that he came into the UFC, but when he came into the Ultimate Fighter, undefeated, people were really excited about Phillips. It's unfortunate because he ran into a buzzsaw on the guy that won the season, Brad Katona, who's oddly enough now competing with EMC for their Bantamweight Championship. The UFC dumped him like, I don't know, a bad girlfriend, I guess. It was weird how they just let Brad Katona go. But Kyler Phillips, so didn't work out all that great for him on the Ultimate Fighter. Then he lost the fight on the regional scene after that. Picked up a win, came into the UFC, and against Gabriel Silva, looked amazing. And I mean, what can I say about Gabriel Silva? He's forever going to be in the shadow of the prospect of his brother, Eric Silva. But Kyler Phillips looked great. His striking was fluid and dynamic. It was one of those Robin Black, he looks like he's swimming through fighting type of statements. But Kyler Phillips did actually look like that. And oh, by the way, grew his hair out. So there's that. For Cameron Else, bit of a question mark. Because if you go back 7 years ago on the regional scene, he has a submission win over Paddy Pimblett, which is crazy. Since then, he's fought salty contenders. And I have to say that because, you know, he loses to 10-7 Spencer Hewitt. Then he gets a win over a guy that's 2-1. Loses to a guy that's 6-1. Beats a guy that's 3-1. So on and so forth. And he's on a tidy little win streak, 6-fight win streak. Okay, pro debut, 1-1. Pro debut, 4-0, 0-1, 3-14. And he's finishing these guys, but it really makes me sit here and scratch my head. You're beating guys that have salty records, Cameron Else. Okay, well, last weekend we had a fight between Hadis Ibrahimov and Danilo Marquez. We said the same thing. Danilo Marquez, long periods of inactivity. He was beating salty guys. And he got a win over Hadis Ibrahimov, who looked tired from the jump. But Kyler Phillips is like a ball of energy. And he just keeps going and going and going. So can Cameron Else really bring things together? Can he bring that fast twitch first round type of stoppage that we've seen him be able to do on the regional scene? I mean, he's representing, you know, Southwest USA, training out of the BMF ranch. There's a little bit of Jackson Wink peppered in there if you look on the Tapologies and the MMA forum guides and the Sure Dogs of the world. What is he going to bring into this fight? To me, he's way too big of a question mark. And oh, by the way, Kyler Phillips, one of the biggest favorites on this card. I know we mentioned Charles Jourdain was a big favorite, but right now, if you look at Kyler Phillips, he just continues to gain. He's a minus. He opened as a minus 275. That line dropped automatically. And Kyler Phillips is now a minus 441 average on best fight odds. Cameron Else open plus 235 now at a plus 332. This is a fight that I would totally avoid because of the unknown. Again, Cameron Else looks amazing against lower competition. Kyler Phillips hangs in there against some decent guys. He lost to Brad Katona on the Ultimate Fighter. And then on the regional scene, you know, looking to pick up the pieces. He lost to Victor Henry, who was 14-4 by split decision at the time. I favor Kyler Phillips just like the odds makers do, but this is a fight that you stay away from. Really,
you have to favor Phillips based on that Silva performance alone because he did look so good, kind of reminiscent of a Spag Carlisle sort of in his approach to that fight. And for Cameron Ellis, like you had mentioned, so many question marks. And when you're a guy, we see this a lot in the UFC where they'll have losses against people who are now in the top 15, but it seems like everyone that they beat wasn't in the UFC or only had one, maybe two fights that were both losses and they got cut. That's kind of what Cameron's record is outside the UFC. Great nickname in Camchida, kind of neat. But no, Kyler Phillips, his striking, absurd. He's got really good gas tank, great footwork, can strike from both sides too. So any guy coming in from the regional scene who has been fighting lesser competition is going to have a massive problem with Kyler Phillips because guys who have been in the UFC and who have UFC caliber wins are going to have a problem with Kyler Phillips. So not to let the cat out of the bag too early, but Kyler Phillips should be able to get this one done. He's a massive favorite for a reason.
I gotta say this like off the record, behind or inside baseball type of thing that we do sometimes. If you go back and watch Cameron Else when he's fighting with Bama, and it's been a little bit because Bama hasn't totally been around for a long time. So I'm watching the fight against Jay Butler back in 2015. They said he was 29 years old then. So unless he's like frozen in time and he's still 29, I looked it up on ESPN. I looked it up on every website I could find. It says that he's 29 years old. The UFC says that he's 29. I don't know if Bama made a mistake. I don't know if this guy's actually, 36 to this point? I have no idea. It's weird stuff. I figured I'd throw that one out there to make it interesting. But yeah, I'm going with Kyler Phillips. Look into it. You look over on Tapology at a 657 votes, 81% going Phillips, 54% saying he's going to win by decision, 35% saying he could win it by knockout. Again, way too much of the unknown. And I can't stress that one enough. But yeah, I'm going to go with the overwhelming favorite, Kyler Phillips here. Matt, you're in agreement?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Both of us going with Kyler Phillips. It's a strange fight, especially if this fight's on the main card. I don't know what it is. Like
Carlos Condit was a champion, okay? Show him that respect. Put him on the main card.
I think it's a spotlight if either one of these guys get a spectacular win. But yes, both of us going with Kyler Phillips. You're not going to want to miss the prediction that we had a little bit ago for Carlos Condit, Court McGee, or maybe our featured fight at the top of the card, Holm taking on Irena Aldana at the top of the bantamweight division. Keep locked in with Fight Night Picks, Matt, as we always say. Let's get into it.